Welcome back into HQ Spotlight, and tough Sunday in the NFL for injuries. Micah Parsons, one of the unlucky ones, the star pass rusher for the Packers, tearing his ACL in a road loss to the Broncos. The loss and the Bears' win knocked them out of the top spot in the NFC North. But of course, the loss of Parsons may prove to be even more impactful, as he is officially out for this season. Let's bring on Mike Renner and JP Acosta. Mike, let's talk long-term impact of Micah Parsons. What is not having him now do to their hopes of making a deep playoff run?
It's huge because he was, for all intents and purposes, their pass rush. I mean, he was the guy, generated 79 of their pressures. That's 22 more than anyone else on the roster. And I think the difference between having him and the other guys is they have a lot of like pocket collapsers. They don't have a guy who wins with speed and can like track down the Caleb Williamses of the world. When he gets out into the flat, Micah Parsons actually makes up ground on him. Guys like Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, well, they're just flailing for air trying to find those mobile quarterbacks. So it's huge. I mean, it cannot be understated how much this transforms this Packers defense, and just kind of the knock-on effect of not only him, but also Devontae Wyatt on the interior. That's your best interior rusher now, along with your best exterior rusher. It's just going to be hard to put pressure on opposing quarterbacks without blitzing the heck out of them at this point.
Yeah, like Mike said, this is a monumental injury for the Packers defense. Not only is Micah Parsons their pass rush, which is the rising tide that lifts all the other pass rushers on the team, he also lifts the secondary. He's second in the NFL in quick pressures, according to NFL Pro. That means quarterbacks are having to get the ball out quick because Micah Parsons is on the field. That eases up so much of what the Packers secondary has to do, and that has always been their weakest links. Their cornerbacks have not been that great this season, but it's been pasted over because Micah Parsons is getting pressures at an extremely high rate and extremely quick rate. So without Micah Parsons on the field, it leaves those corners a lot more open to explosive plays. They gave up a lot of explosive plays against the Broncos. So it's going to be a massive effect. It's going to take a massive effect not only on the front, but also the secondary.
12.5 sacks for Micah Parsons in 14 games. The next highest, Rashawn Gary, at 7.5, who, JP, is your impact player to watch as the Packers face off against the Bears.
Yep, he's going to have to take the place of Micah Parsons as the star pass rusher on this team. Rashawn Gary has not had that great of a year when it comes to pass rush productivity. Like I said, not a lot of sacks this season, but he wins with power. He wins converting speed to power. And against a Bears team that has a lot of inefficiencies at tackles when it comes to Ozzie Trapilo or Theo Benedict at left tackle, Rashawn Gary's going to have to step up his play. If they're going to try and win with 4 without having to blitz, without having to send a lot of pressures like Jeff Hafley had to do against the Broncos, he's going to have to step up his play and really take that role as the lead pass rusher on this team.
I'm going to be going on the offensive side of the ball, though, because Micah Parsons wasn't the only guy they lost in that game. Christian Watson went down with an injury, too. And while it's not as serious, he may not be playing this upcoming weekend. So I'm looking at Matthew Golden, because with Christian Watson gone, they don't have that deep element, that explosive element in that offense outside of Matthew Golden. But he's a rookie. And over the course of the season, it's been kind of up and down for him, his usage. But they're going to have to use him in that role because no one else really fits the bill of someone that's going to scare this Bears defense down the football field. He has 6 deep receptions this season. That's tied actually with Christian Watson for the most on the Green Bay Packers. He has to make some big plays for this Packers to win this game.
So we've talked next men up for the Packers, but if we're looking at this matchup as a whole between the Packers and Bears, these teams met back in Week 14, was not that long ago, and the Packers won in their building 28-21. So, Mike, what can Chicago learn from that game as they face off again this Sunday?
I think they can learn that they can run the ball on the Green Bay Packers is the biggest thing, and wear them down over the course of the game. That was the type of game where if they had probably, 10 more minutes, another quarter, you probably would have picked the Bears to win because they were slowly and steadily wearing down that Packers defense. I think same game plan as last time, but just this time, they don't have the guy that can change the game in Micah Parsons who can get that quick pressure. So I think it's business as usual for this Bears team. Really rely on that ground game and then try to sneak out a few more explosives than you got last time with Caleb Williams.
All right, you've both picked Luther Burden for your impact player. So, JP, I'll start with you. How can he make a difference here?
Yeah, we got some podcast synergy with Luther Burden being our impact player. He leads the Bears in receiving yards since week 10. And if Rome Odunze doesn't play in this game, he's been dealing with a foot injury. He aggravated the foot injury during warmups in the Browns game. But Luther Burden has started to come on strong in his rookie season. He's such an explosive mover. It's such an explosive threat after the catch that, like we said with the issues with the Packers defense, if they can give up a lot of explosive plays, all you need for Caleb Williams is just one. If you can hit one explosive to Luther Burden, if you can really start to put some pressure on that Packers secondary, it'll open up a lot more lanes for the run game, and that'll just open up so many more things for this offense. So I think Luther Burden's going to be a huge player to watch in this game.
All right, Mike, what happens? What's your game prediction?
I think the Bears get this one. I think the Micah Parsons injury is enough to swing it. And I think the Bears, after last time, you saw them basically scrap the drop back passing game 2 series in to that. Just it was not working. They did not have time to operate it. I think they will have time in this one. So you're going to have everything you had last time, plus a few more explosives through the air. That should be enough to tip the scales in the Bears' favor.
Yeah, I think the Bears end up winning this game. I think they have too much in the offensive passing game and run game, and without Micah Parsons, not going to have a lot of answers if you're the Green Bay pass rush.
All right, there you have it. Bears, Packers, round 2 this Sunday. We appreciate you breaking that down for us. And speaking of breakdowns, the crew on Game Day Recap has you covered after all the action on Sundays. This is a must-watch to make sure you didn't miss any of the fun. You can catch it Sundays at 8:20 Eastern on CBS Sports HQ.